On the start of a long overdue backpacking trip. This is one where you guys voted on the secondary knife I brought and the hammock system that I brought. So stay tuned, you'll find out from the voting what won. All right guys, now time to reveal the knife. This one was a really interesting one because by a landslide, the one you guys voted on for me to take on this trip as far as a backup knife goes, a small fixed blade backup, this guy right here, the Tarp's Scandi Trekker. Now I've actually had this for a long time and I've used it quite a bit to do a lot of things, so I'm pretty well versed in this one, but I just haven't shown it on camera a lot, so this will be a good opportunity just to show it a little bit. Needless to say, I really like the knife. I don't know if the camera picked that up or not. That was a big old rumble of thunder. There it goes again. It's a pretty good chance I'm gonna get wet tonight. Pretty good chance. So the fixed blade that I brought, the large fixed blade, is this guy. Now the sheath alone is something that I haven't used in the past. It's a dangler. I've always gone with a Kydex, and you guys know I really like that setup that's got the paracord wrapped around. Actually, I haven't shown it on video for a little bit. So you guys who might be new to the channel, it's something I really like. Now, one of the reasons I like it instead of the belt carry, for me and the ribs pack, the belt carry, the ribs kind of compete with the knife when it's on the belt. So that paracord carry, it's just pretty much a sling that I can affix the blade to. I mean, similar, I've got this attached to the ribs right now just because it's convenient. But the dangler, man, I'm loving it. It's out of the way, it's easy to get to, it's I really like the sheath, the dangler sheath. But what I've got here, this is it's a BHK knife, the Highlander. And this will be my second outing with it. The first outing was just kind of a little bit of a test run. So I do have some use under my belt, and I wanted to bring it on this trip. The one downside I can say to this one, right off the get-go, is that it's a bit heavy for its size in comparison to what you can get out there. Other than that, so far, this early on in the testing, I'm really digging this knife. So one thing, it's got the 5-inch blade. That's my sweet spot. I love that for a wilderness blade. The big old long blades, I've kind of moved away from those. The 5 inches, well, I've moved away from those a long time ago. The 5 inches, that's what I'm digging right now. So let's process some wood here. I've got that ready off camera. Flat grind. And oh, if memory serves correct, I believe it is a 01 tool steel, I believe. So we just bring it up, play with this one for a little bit. Starting to sprinkle too. So I don't know how much time I have for a fire. And actually this makes me think, so I did bring up my MSR pocket rocket, and a lot of times I don't bring up that with fuel because I just use the fire to utilize warming up the water for dinner, you know, some of those freeze-dried meals. But this is one of those cases. I kind of looked at the weather. It's been rainy. This month of May here in Utah has just been extremely rainy, very, very wet. So I thought, well, I better bring it up just in case. And you know what? Just might need it. big old knot right there. Sometimes you just got to know when to say when. Oh, we'll move to, look at this guy right here. All right. Every now and again, you just get a really stubborn one. Like I said, you need to know when to say when. I'm going to get all this wood processed, and then I'm going to have to hunker down in the tarp, or under the tarp in the hammock. It's starting to come down a little bit more. Not so much that I'm worried about the camera yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Like I said, guys, this kind of just accelerates the use on this, puts a lot of pressure on it, gives a lot of feedback quickly. Edge is still pretty good, and I know that when these go in, it kind of creates a wedge, and sometimes the actual cutting edge of the blade isn't touching the wood, but this is a flat grind, so it'll affect it some. Oh, let's take this one down one more. Oh. So I've got my tarp kind of far away. I mean, not bad, but what I didn't want to do is put it right next to the fire. So you guys know I've been using those cheap tarps, and that's the benefit of those, is you can get fairly close to the fire, and if they get holes in them, no worries. But when I'm spending a little more money on a tarp, I'm going to keep that tarp just a little bit further away. All right, what we're going to do here, we're going to do a little duck and cover before it starts coming down. If it does, I want to get this wood underneath the tarp, get things kind of buttoned up that way. So we'll be back. Let me show you my view here with my nice big old window. So this is it. Again, on camera that looks pretty flat. That's not. This area certainly would not be an option for a tent. And I know you guys have been preaching that for a long time, and I've always thought that when I've been out with my tent. I've found all these spots I wanted to go, but it's just not suitable for a tent. Hammock, doesn't matter. Now, one thing I did on this side is I really drew the sides of the tarp up so I could get a nice view out there. And then tonight, before I go to bed, I'll just drop all the sides, and just in case it does start pouring rain. why I picked this spot. Really hard to find. I got pretty lucky. Small little 3-inch fixed blade like that, and that split a log. So with that underquilt, that's what I ended up doing. I like the setup. These cords on it seem to be a little